You'll be limited to 2 minutes, and we ask that you conduct yourself in a professional, courteous manner, refrain from the use of profanity. Failure to abide by this policy may result in the loss of your privilege to speak. First speaking tonight, John Glassell.
Late in her life, Zsa Zsa Gabor became concerned about the sex lives of her chickens. Sheriff Rivard, it would seem, is more concerned about the sex lives of his employees than catching drug dealers. Officers under Rivard's command are routinely scheduled so they can conduct their sexual affairs over lunch.
Why don't you stop this, Rick? Why don't you stop it? We got rules against what he's doing, and you haven't done anything. It's time to stop it.
He has First Amendment rights.
You don't have rights to slander somebody. The First Amendment doesn't give you rights to slander somebody, and that's what he's doing.
Christine, do you have a ruling on it?
Is he allowed to speak, in other words?
No, is he allowed to slander somebody, is the
Last
question.
check, I'm not a judge to really make those kind of decisions, so.
The Constitution doesn't give you the right to slander anybody.
We depend on your opinion.
I've not heard anything defamatory as of yet.
However, I've heard a county commissioner violate the rules of conduct by interrupting a citizen. Please stop it and let's get this done.
That's what I think that's the biggest thing we gotta do, is we gotta get some rules. George, you said we we're gonna have rules. We never got them.
You're the
Now the
one
election's
Bible.
up.
Okay.
You were waiting for the rules till after the election, so then he won't be here. That's what happened.
No.
No.
They're gonna confine your
Let's let
conduct.
Jonathan continue. Let's
I
see.
hope.
Christine says it's,
From the top.
Started it over.
You have 2 minutes.
It started over.
Your 2 minutes. Right now.
Officers under Rivard's command are routinely scheduled so they can conduct their sexual affairs over lunch. Barring a vasectomy, Corporal Foster could have every unattached woman of childbearing years employed by Chicago County.
This is wrong,
in the next 5 years.
Rick. This is wrong what he's doing.
no.
It's wrong what he's doing. He's slandering people.
I agree.
He's slandering people right now. And the Constitution doesn't give you the right to slander anybody.
All I can go by is what our county attorney.
Our rule says you gotta act in a professional and courteous manner. Is that what he's doing?
Let's get another ruling from the county attorney. Perhaps
I think
that
there's a
comment's
difference
different.
between private citizens, like Deputy
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
versus our elected official who's a public officer.
Right.
There's a different standard that applies.
So your advice to the county board is?
Yes.
I would caution you not to allow this sort of conduct with private citizens. If
Okay.
there's comments about public officials,
Caution.
there's a different standard that applies.
Caution the citizen.
So,
So you've got
no,
So, Mr. Glassel, you should be
No.
cautioned to follow that so you can.
Well, who wrote the paper you're reading? Did you write it or somebody else? Because you always come to write something, you can't do anything on your own, you always have to read a piece of paper.
Quit
You're in
attacking,
charge.
quit attacking the citizen. You're out of order.
It's your pal, you tell him to behave.
You're out of line.
okay, you heard the ruling?
It occurs to me that our sheriff's department may be a tad overstaffed. Either we have too many cops or not enough criminals, allowing Sheriff Rivard's favorite employees time to focus on increasing the gene pool. Perhaps these few officers, these bad apples that fanatically support Carl Schreck are heavily invested in retaining the status quo of illicit sex and little actual work that will vanish under Rick Duncan. Or are they simply following the footsteps of Todd Rivard, himself known to grind away with women in his office? We don't know the reasons why Todd Rivard chose to retire. We can only be thankful that he will be gone. Rivard's sexcapades and those of his followers will finally end, sealing his legacy as just another good old boy politician whose power went to his head. Todd Rivard has written his own legacy and will be remembered as such. During the next 2 weeks, Rivard can end his career on a positive note by simply coming clean about Carl Schreck and withdrawing his support for a man who's clearly not competent to be our next sheriff. But don't vote for Rick Duncan just because Carl Schreck sucks. Vote for
Hey,
Duncan
no
because
swearing.
he is the
Remember, no
most
swearing?
qualified.
That's right.
You don't, these rules we got are worthless. We might as well have that, I make a motion that the rule we got, we throw it out, because it's not being enforced anyway. There's my motion.
Motion, is there a second to the motion? Is there a second to the motion?
That we essentially have no rule.
Well, we don't have any rules.
Commissioner?
We got a rule here that says you act in a courteous
what your
and
motion is?
professional manner,
I
and
just
it's
want to
not being
clarify your
followed.
motion, that
The
we
motion, I
allow-
just told you, I just told you what the motion was.
He's just
That the
talking
part
over-
about the
Motion dies
professionals,
for lack of a second.
Unless we
Let's adjourn.
get back to, I'm going to ask for a recess.
Yeah.
No, this is it, let's
You're-
go on.
You need to
Any
get
more?
control of your emotions, Commissioner.
no, you guys,
That's it.
I made a motion.
Commissioner
Okay.
reports.
Continue your commissioner report, George.
Well, of course they're not gonna second, it's their buddy, why would they second?
You know, that's a slanderous comment that you're making against your colleagues.
come on
And
now.
that you can be censured for, and I think you ought to be.
Order.
Cut it out.
Come on now. George, we're back to
You don't have those rights that a citizen does.
commissioner reports.
Different rights. You have a duty to act.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make
You don't
my
have a floor.
commissioner report.